Good morning to all. Welcome back at ICAE classes. As we are already discussing about the final accounts, today we have to go for the final accounts of manufacturing units. We will have to go for the doubts or whatever the queries are there, and then we will go for final accounts of not for profit undertakings. So basically, we have to start with the final account for not for profit today. But before that, I would like to take the doubts of manufacturing units also, because that was we have discussed in our previous lecture also. Whatever the problems will be there, that we will take today. So starting with that, beta. Yeah, good morning to all of you. Received your good morning, very good. Good morning, very good, very good. All must send their presence. That is always wonderful. So first query is with me, Pooja Kumari. I want to ask treatment of goods received, but invoice from seller is not received. So the query is that the goods are received, but invoice is not yet received. Question number 2 from manufacturing accounts. How cost of material consumed calculated? So see question number 2 of this. For that, I would like to share with you my screen. Okay, let's start with the question number 2 of manufacturing units. This is illustration or question number 2? Pooja, you mentioned about practical question or illustration. This is not clear. So I'm first of all going to check about the illustration. Yes. Yes, in illustration number 2, there is no such point. So it means for it is practical problem only. Yeah. Here it is given to you manufacturing account, creditor account, trading account you have to prepare of Shivji related to 2019-20. There are certain figures missing from these accounts. Opening stock is given, but raw material consumed is not given, closing stock is not given, creditors are not given. Then what it is, try to understand what it means for, because what he is interested to ask from you is what is your knowledge. So let's understand the knowledge. From knowledge point of view, you should be very much clear that in a particular account which is given here, raw material account, in this account, what we are doing, we are normally preparing it by way of so we are preparing a raw material account by way opening stock, closing stock, and then whatever purchases we have made during the period, whatever raw material is purchased by us, because whenever we will purchase raw material, instead of debiting purchase account, we will debit raw material account. So the entry will be raw material account debit to creditor account. So this is a purchase made by us during the year. This is what? This is your purchase. Okay. So you need purchases. If you will enter purchases here, also you need closing stock, because if you will enter closing stock, automatically raw material consumed will be the balancing figure. Or if other information will be there, then if one information is missing, that we can calculate through balance figure. Then coming to creditors account, it is okay. No problem is there. Yes. In manufacturing account also, we have doesn't have raw material consumed with us. So what he says purchase of machinery worth rupees 10 lakh has been omitted. read the point, whatever is given to you. So the points are given to you. First point is purchase of raw material, a purchase of machinery worth rupees 10 lakh has been omitted, that has not been entered. So this will be added to the machinery account, as well as it will be depreciation will be charged on it. Wages include paid to factory workers rupees 3 lakh. So this is factory workers, hence it will be basically debited to manufacturing account. Paid to office workers, that will be debited to profit or loss account. And then direct expenses include following: electricity charges 80,000, of which 30% pertain to office. So whatever the office expenses are there, that will be debited to P&L account. So 80,000 into 30%, that will be 24,000. It will go to P&L account, and the balance 80,000 into 70% will go to manufacturing account. Fuel charges, it's okay, it is a direct expense. Freight inward, direct expense. Delivery charges to customer, this is an indirect expense, goes to P&L account. Already discussed, all expenses incurred on sale will be an indirect expense. You are required to prepare revised manufacturing account and raw material account. That is your requirement. Now, first of all, purchase of raw material is not given to you. Yeah, creditors account is given to you. If creditors account is given to you, that means for some practical information is there. Let's understand it. What means for the creditor account? Creditor account means for, this is the opening balance of creditors, which has been brought forward by us. Then these are the payments made by us during the year. Payments made during the year. This is a closing balance which is given to you. So whatever is the balance figure of it by purchases or raw material. So this is what, this is your raw material, this is your purchases. That is very much clear, because whatever the balance figure of it, that will be purchases, 13 lakh. So this will be the balance figure, and these purchases we will enter in this 13 lakh. When we will enter 13 lakh here, then we need closing stock also, because if closing stock is given to us, only then we can calculate raw material consumed, otherwise it is not possible. So one thing is very much clear, that opening stock is with us, purchases are with us. Now raw material consumed and closing stock is pending. Let's come to the manufacturing account, beta. So in manufacturing account, let's see, he says wages are not of that amount, whatever is given in your manufacturing account, because he says wages have some problem. Already discussed that wages include 3,50,000. Out of that 3,50,000, 3 lakh is a factory workers expense. So how much will be entered here? It will be 3 lakh only. It should be 3 lakh, not 3,50,000. Then he says direct expenses include electricity expenses also. So minus कर देंगे इसमें से, we will deduct 24,000 out of it as direct expense, as indirect expenses, which has been wrongly included in it. So it is 2,20,000. Let's understand it. बेटा हमारे जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग अकाउंट है उसमें हम लोग डालते क्या, उसमें हमेशा हमने वो एक्सपेंसेस डालने जो फैक्ट्री के अंदर हो रहे हैं. अभी देखो वो बता रहा है कि वेजेस जो है वो आपकी 3 लाख है, ना कि 3,50,000. सो 3,50,000 में से आपको 3 लाख डाल देनी है. ओके. और जो आप डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस की बात कर रहे हो उसमें वो बता रहा है आपको कि डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस जो है उसमें 80,000 रुपीज डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस ऐसे हैं जो कि हमारे 30% जिसमें से ऑफिस से रिलेटेड है. 30% का मतलब कितना हुआ? 30% का मतलब हो गया 80,000 का 30% 24,000. तो ये डायरेक्ट हो जाए, ये इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस हो जाएंगे, बाकी डायरेक्ट रहेंगे. फ्यूल चार्जेस होते ही डायरेक्ट है, देयर इज नो वरी. फ्रेट इनवर्ड डायरेक्ट होता है, देयर इज नो वरी. डिलीवरी चार्जेस टू कस्टमर की प्रॉब्लम है. ही सेज डिलीवरी चार्जेस जो है कस्टमर को हमने कस्टमर्स को डिलीवरी करी है वो 20,000 रुपीज है। तो ये जो 20,000 रुपीज आपके बेटा है, तो ये भी आपके इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस है, बिकॉज वट एवर एक्सपेंसेस आर इनकर्ड फॉर कंज्यूमर्स फॉर सेंडिंग गुड्स टू देम, और वट एवर सेल्स एक्सपेंसेस आर दोज आर इनडायरेक्ट। जितने भी सेल के खर्चे होते हैं वो सारे इनडायरेक्ट होते हैं। सो लेट्स डिडक्ट दिस आल्सो। सो दिस विल आल्सो बी डिडक्टेड। So out of this 2,44,000, what do you have to do? Yes, minus 20,000 will also be deducted as indirect expenses. So only 2 lakh will be there. So here let's understand this. This should be 3 lakh. This should be 3 lakh. This should be 2 lakh. So this is 3 lakh. This is 2 lakh. This is again 2 lakh. So 3 plus 2 plus 2, 3 lakh. 2 lakh is okay. Further 2 lakh is there. Direct expenses 7 lakh. Whereas your trading count shows 17 lakh 94,000, which is transferred to trading count as cost of material consumed. This is what? This is cost of material consumed, which is treated as balance sheet figure normally, but that has already been given to you. So this will be calculated as balance sheet figure. This is 10 lakh 94,000. So this is what raw material consumed. So you are able to calculate raw material consumed in the given question. I think you are clear on this. Please note it down. Once you send a query, please wait, because it takes time. So if I'll not answer your query within the 10 or 20 minutes, then you should have to resend it. Adish, because you are sending again and again, it will be a difficult task, because then I will have to scrutinize again and again which type of queries are sent by you. Okay. So I think this is clear to everyone. Now, what you have to do is, this raw material consumed will be entered in your creditor account, so that we can in your material account, so that we can calculate the purchases. We can calculate the closing stock, because that is not given to you. Yeah, here we have already calculated creditors, we have already entered. Raw material consumed we already calculated. Now this is 10 lakh 94,000 that you have to enter here, and obviously this will be the balance sheet figure, closing stock. This we have already calculated. So 14 lakh 3 lakh 6,000 will be the closing stock. So I think this is clear to everyone. Pooja, is that clear? And I think everyone is clear on this. If any doubt in this query, please tell me. Another student has asked a query regarding, good morning, sir. Please tell adjustment of chapter number 7, unit number 1, practical question number 1 of test your knowledge. I have not understood why 20,000 is not recorded on debtor side in the balance sheet. No problem. I'll discuss. Adish query is regarding chapter of our non-manufacturing entities, which we already completed. So this is just a favor which I can give him. There's no problem. Otherwise, we should have to ask the queries of manufacturing count today only, because we'll have to go for a note for a profit undertaking also. But even then, I would like to solve his query. So test your knowledge Practical question number 1 of non-manufacturing entities. In this, he says 20,000 is not recorded on debtor side in balance sheet. Why? On debtor side in balance sheet 20,000. Let's see what is this 20,000. Maybe this question has already been done by us. Sundry debtors include 20,000 due from, this is a point. See, fifth point is here. Sundry debtors include 20,000 due from Robert and sundry creditors include 10,000 due to him. This is a mutual owing. What it is? Mutual owing. Mutual owing means when a person is our debtor as well as creditor, then whatever is the lower amount that will be deducted from debtors as well as creditor. मीन्स अगर कोई पर्सन हमारा डेटर भी है क्रेडिटर भी है तो हमने क्या करना है, जितनी अमाउंट से वो हमारा डेटर है और जितनी अमाउंट से वो हमारा क्रेडिटर है, उनमें से जो लोअर है, लोअर ऑफ दीज टू, उस अमाउंट को हम डिडक्ट कर देंगे किस में से, टोटल डेटर्स में से और टोटल क्रेडिटर में से, ताकि हमारे पास नेट अमाउंट आ जाए। तो यहां पर 20,000 रुपीज आपके जो है रॉबर्ट को आपने ड्यू फ्रॉम लेने हैं, दैट इज डेटर्स, और 10,000 रुपीज को पे करने हैं। सो लोअर अमाउंट इज 10,000 that will be deducted from debtors as well as creditor. So see here it is. So that we will do minus 10,000 minus 10,000. That we will do. Is that clear, beta? Adish? मुझे लगता है आदिश की ही क्वेरी बार बार आई हुई है, और तो किसी ने क्वेरी नहीं पूछी इसके अलावा। हाँ सर, व्हाट इफ बैड डेट्स आर and provision for bad debts as well as adjustment for provision percentage and discount percentage is given. Beta, we have already discussed in our previous lecture regarding this in detail. If you have any doubt, please review that lecture. That will be beneficial for you because it has taken approximately 1 hour of that lecture and I am unable to explain it once again. Beta, sorry to say. You may please see my previous lecture that is available on YouTube also, in your app also. I have some doubt in chapter number 7, unit number 2. Mukhtar, here we are taking doubts of chapter number 7, unit number 2. There is no problem. You may send your doubts. You are welcomed. So what is byproduct? Byproduct meant for just like a scrap sale. Basically, when we are producing, this is basically a part of cost accounting. If you will learn, if you will go for cost accounting, there is a chapter joint product, byproduct. In that you will better understand this. Maybe that was that is in your group 1 itself. So in that you will understand in detail. Otherwise, here what means for byproduct is whatever the income from byproduct that will be deducted from our main product or cost of main product, or that will be credited to our manufacturing account. That will be credited to our manufacturing account. For example, if we are manufacturing a ladies suit or gents t-shirts, then there may be some cuttings available with us with which we can go for the baby suits also, or we can go for the hankies also, hai na? So we can make anything, or bermudas or something else. Means we can make some other product also, but the main product is our ladies suit or gents t-shirts. So with that, if some cloth is left and we are manufacturing with that some other thing, that is called byproduct. So whatever is the net profit on byproduct, that will be credited to our manufacturing account. That will be a beneficial thing. Good query, a knowledgeable point. You have sent, Adish, you have sent this query approximately 20 times. So this is very wrong, because in this case, I am just wasting time to see your queries, which is very bad. Don't do this again. No student is allowed to send queries such a number of times. If a query is there, you have sent it once, you may have to wait for 10 to 15 minutes. It will always be better. If I am giving taking some other doubts, then you may wait. Now this is a problem because everywhere the query of Adish is there. Question number 1 in page number 7.69. Ishan Bisht. Question number 1, page number 7.69. Yes. Practical question number 1. So no query is sent. He is just telling me to solve this all. So we will discuss it. In that case, you will be clear on all the points. Pankaj runs a factory which manufactures motor spare parts. So details are given to you. Okay. You are required to prepare manufacturing account of Mr. Pankaj, which is very easy. Beta, you will have to prepare one account. In that case, it will be really very easy to understand. If you have already done it, it will be not a difficult task. You may see this will be debited to manufacturing account. I may tell you which will be debited and which will be credited to manufacturing account. You may do that. This will be debited to manufacturing account. This will be credited to manufacturing account. Or you may do like this. 3,09,000. Yeah, that will be a better option. I'm not interested to give you any other option. Raw material, this will be made as purchases, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. That you may do 12,10,000 plus 3,02,000 minus 3,10,000 minus returned 18,000. So whatever is the balance, that will be entered as raw material consumed. Raw material consumed in debit side of manufacturing account. Indirect material, that will also go to debit side. Material direct or indirect, both are the part of your manufacturing account. Wages direct or indirect, both are the part of your manufacturing account. Debited to it. Direct expenses, royalty on production debited. Repair and maintenance debited. Depreciation debited. This will be debited. Byproduct at selling price, this will be credited. So you may say it will be credited to your manufacturing account. That's it. You may see the solution that is also given to you. So what is your query? Your basic query is whether indirect material and indirect wages are to be entered in manufacturing account or not. Purely it will be entered. There's no doubt at all. Only those expenses which are relating to our office will not be entered. Indirect material is consumed in factory. Indirect wages are paid for factory. So these are to be charged to manufacturing account. There's no worry on this. Let it be very much clear. Okay. Sir, factory rent is indirect expense, so we have to record it in trading account or manufacturing. It is not an indirect expense. In case of manufacturing account, all expenses which relates to factory, which are incurred in factory, which are relating to production, which are relating to purchase of raw material, जितने भी खर्चे आप करते हो फैक्ट्री के अंदर, फैक्ट्री के लिए, रॉ मटेरियल को परचेज करने के लिए या फिर प्रोडक्शन के लिए, सारे एक्सपेंसेस आपको कहां डालने हैं? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में. Barkutullah, factory entry is indirect. That is already clear, made clear. Okay. Ankit is clear. Yeah. Page number 7.68. True, false. So she is interested to go for the true, false, and true, false 1 and 6 MCQ number 1. Okay. Let's see. A query is raised by someone. Ziba Mukhtar. Understatement of closing stock work in progress in the period will, what will happen? Let it be very much clear. What is your closing stock? Closing stock क्या होता है आपका? Your closing stock is basically your asset. Let it be very much clear. So whenever closing stock is understated, then it will have double effect, because once it is an asset, obviously if it have been understated, it will reduce your asset side. Simultaneously, closing stock is entered in credit side of trading account. So trading account is just like a account in which incomes and expenses are entered. So it is basically an income also in other way. Other by nature it is an asset. There's no problem. But simultaneously it is entered in trading count. So due to that reason, it may be assumed as an income also for understanding. So with this, if you will understate closing stock, then what will happen? It will result into understatement of assets and overstatement, sorry, understatement of, because if closing stock is understated, automatically your profit will be understated. Understatement of profit, both will be understated. So understate net income in that period, this is okay. This is wrong. Overstate current asset is purely wrong because this will understate current assets. Understate cost of goods manufactured is also wrong because in that case, obviously your cost of goods manufactured will increase instead of decreasing. If your income is decreased, your expenses will increase, not decrease. So this is also not correct. This is also not correct. The answer is C. Then, is that clear? Is that clear? Adish, you are really doing very bad thing. I will do one thing now. I'll take queries from down, from the last one, because it is not possible to take queries from the beginning because a person has sent a query approximately 50 times. If I'll see Adish, due to that reason, all queries are in a problem. So I'll try to do that from down now. Rohini, explain again, sir. Let's understand this. Basically, what is your closing stock? Let's see, closing stock is entered in the credit side of trading account. Credit side of trading account means income side. Let's see, take an example here. If your opening stock is 1 lakh, purchases are 2 lakh, and closing stock is 50,000 rupees, then what will be your cost of goods consumed? It is 3 lakh minus 50,000. It will be 2 lakh 50,000. So this will be cost of goods consumed. Okay. Now, this means for if it has been taken at lower side, if instead of 50,000 we have taken 10,000 only, then obviously it will increase. It will increase to 2 lakh 90,000. So that means for this will not understate, this will overstate our cost of material consumed. Okay. Ziba, true and false, question number 1 and 6 also. Okay. Byproduct values. First question of true false. Byproduct valued at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Basically, whenever we have to take any item as our closing stock, whenever closing stock is taken, that will always be taken at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. This is very much clear. This is not for byproduct only, beta. Whenever you are talking about anything which is taken in closing stock is always valued at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. So if byproduct is lying with us at the end of the period, it will always be taken at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Overhead is defined as total cost of direct material, direct wages and direct expenses. Purely wrong. Overhead means for indirect expenses, beta. This is a part of cost accounting. Basically, you will have to discuss in detail in cost accounting. That is a part of your group. Okay, you are all in CA foundation. So let's understand it. Overhead means for indirect expenses. That means for all indirect material, indirect wages, indirect expenses. This is all totaled and overhead is there. Write it down with you. Overhead means for indirect expenses. I think this is clear to you. Okay, please explain note 4 of practical question number 2. कम दिखाना होता है क्या? बिल्कुल ठीक है, अंडर स्टेटमेंट का मतलब कम दिखाना होता है। हिंदी में भी मैं आपको बता देता हूँ बेटा, बिल्कुल सही है। क्वेरीज बहुत सारी आई हुई है बच्चों की, मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ सारी क्वेरीज लेने की। अगर किसी की रह जाएगी तो मैं आपको मौका दूंगा, आप दोबारा रिपीट कर लेना, ठीक है? बट इन आंसर फॉल्स इज गिवन फॉर फर्स्ट ऑफ द ट्रू एंड फॉल्स। बेटा it will depend. Byproduct valuation is made at cost or NRV, whichever is lower, whatever the closing stock is there. Now from which angle he is giving the answer, that may be different also. He may be giving the answer on the basis of that byproduct is calculated on मतलब is manufactured on the basis of which price. तो ये भी तो हो सकता है, अब ये पता नहीं, इसमें कुछ लिखा नहीं है कि क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है या बाय प्रोडक्ट है, तो यहाँ पर कुछ भी आंसर लिया जा सकता है। चलो सर, पेपर 1 में स्टेप मार्किंग होती है क्या? बेटा सभी जगह स्टेप मार्किंग होती है। प्लीज एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज ओवर स्टेटमेंट एंड डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस। बेटा ओवर स्टेटमेंट मीन्स फॉर ज्यादा ले लेना, अंडर स्टेटमेंट मीन्स फॉर कम ले लेना। अगर आप कोई 10,000 रुपए की चीज को 20,000 ले लेते हो तो वो क्या है? ओवर स्टेटमेंट। 10,000 की कोई प्रोडक्ट है, कोई भी आइटम है, कोई भी आपका प्रोडक्ट, कोई भी आपकी आइटम है, उसको आपने 20 ले लिया, दिस इज ओवर स्टेटमेंट। अंडर का मतलब क्या? 10,000 की आइटम थी, आपने 4,000 की ले ली, सो दिस इज कॉल्ड अंडर स्टेटमेंट। बस इतना ही होता है। बाकी तो आपने इम्पैक्ट जो देखना है वो तो आप अपनी नॉलेज से देखोगे। आपको नॉलेज होनी चाहिए अकाउंटिंग की, उसी से आपको समझ लगेगा इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या है हमारे पे। डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड। जो भी एक्सपेंसेस ऑफिस में होते हैं हमारे, वो इनडायरेक्ट है। जो भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से रिलेटेड है, परचेज से रिलेटेड है, वो सारे डायरेक्ट है। ओके, चलो। जनरल एक्सपेंसेस इनडायरेक्ट होते हैं हमेशा। केशव, एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5। एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग अकाउंट क्या शो करता है? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग अकाउंट शोज टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग द फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट्स, obviously right. It provide details of factory cost, obviously right. It facilitate reconciliation of financial books with cost records, exactly. This is basically a cost account, cost records. What is manufacturing? This shows us how we have incurred expenses on manufacturing of our product. So this is basically a cost record also. So in simple word, thrice are correct if you will understand. So answer is D. So raw material consumed calculated by you in question number 2 of page. Raw material consumed calculated by you. That may be some calculation error, beta. I have given you the concept. You may please check the calculation once again. Concept I have made you clear. I think that is correct. There's no problem. I have no doubt on my workings. I'm just talking that there may be some calculation error that you may check. Okay. Sir, trading count should also be revised in practical question number 2 because trading count 17,94,000 doesn't include the adjustment balance of depreciation, wages and office expenses. Okay, just see beta. Maybe I have left some point. I may check it out in question number 2. Okay, this has been left wrongly. If you will see this in question number 2, if you have understood, that is better. Solution is given to you. I am just trying to help you to understand the concept. Even then, there's no problem. He says purchase of machinery worth rupees 10 lakh has been omitted due to that reason depreciation is not charged. If you will charge depreciation of 10% of 10 lakh, obviously 1 lakh will be added more. So your direct raw material consumed will reduce by 1 lakh. It will be 9,94,000 maybe in that case. You may check it out. because remaining things I have already done. Okay, so these are the normal things. Don't try to cover these. Basically, we should have to go for the time is less, working is more. Note number 4 or practical question 2. Note number 4 of practical question number 2. Note number 4 बेटा नहीं दिया हुआ यहाँ पर कुछ. You have seen the solution. Okay. Revised balance to be transferred to trading account. Basically, he says 17,94,000. This is the way how he have presented. He have presented current balances. Your 17,94,000. Depreciation charged not recorded, charges not recorded earlier. So these will be recorded. These will be when depreciation will be charged, it will increase your expense because depreciation is an expense. Wages are to be reduced and office expenses are to be reduced. So these will reduce your expenses. This is the way how he have presented. The way I have presented, that is also correct. You may go by any way. There's no problem. Okay, both are okay. This is basically reduction in expense. This is also reduction in expense. When expense will reduce, obviously your cost will reduce. And this is what? This is cost. So cost will reduce when expenses will reduce. This is addition in increase expense. When there is a addition in any expense, obviously cost will increase. So he have added it, deducted it and deducted it. बेटा बड़ा सिंपल है, कोई मुश्किल नहीं है. आप लोग इसको इजीली लोगे तो हो जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी. बिल्कुल ठीक चल रहा है मुझे लग रहा है. 7.67 trading count, profit or loss account and balance sheet. Please describe this. 7.67. But basically you may better ask the query in this, because if we'll go for the complete pro forma, that we have already done. 7.67. See what is his demand. 7.67. बड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन आपने ढूंढ लिया है. इससे बेटर है कि हम इसकी सारी क्वेरीज ले लेते हैं यहां से. Illustration number 3 of your module. Let's understand it. मैं आपको एडजस्टमेंट डिस्कस कर लेता हूं, आप इसकी एप्लीकेशन देख लेना. ठीक है सारे, एक बार आप लोगों को फायदा भी हो जाएगा. हाँ, सबसे पहले तो रॉ मटेरियल इज गिवन टू यू. So not a big technical treatment. Raw material opening stock is given to you, closing stock is given to you, if you will see. So this will be deducted. This will be deducted from your raw material purchases. Finished goods closing stock will be deducted, will be entered in the credit side of trading account. Semi-finished goods closing stock will also entered in your credit side of work in progress in manufacturing account. Salaries and wages unpaid, these will be added to your salaries and wages as an outstanding expense. Machinery is to be depreciated, that is very simple. 7.5% is this. Provision for doubtful debt is to be maintained at 1% of sales. This is something new. Earlier we are doing it on debtors. Here we have to go for sales. So you have to do it in a very simple way. See, here it is. Sales is given to you. You will have to calculate 1% of sales. 1,67,200. You have to make 1% of this. That's it. Office premises occupy 1/4 of total area. Office premises occupy 1/4 of total area. That means for whatever expenses of rent are there, whatever expenses of rent are there, that has to be allocated by way of rent is given 6,000. So this 6,000 will be allocated 3/4 to factory, 1/4 to profit and loss account. So 45 out of this 4,500 will go to manufacturing account and 1,500 will go to your profit or loss account. Then lighting is to be charged as 2:1 ratio. Means lighting 1350, 900 will go to your factory manufacturing account, and 450 will go to profit and loss account. Very simple, nothing else is there. Sir, in exam, why we will give the reasons when we do true and false? Why we will give reason? This is all depending upon the query, whether he have demanded reasons or not. If he mentioned you to give the reasons, you have to give. If he is not mentioning it, if you not demanded it, then you need not to give. ये तो आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट पे है, उसमें उन्होंने डिमांड क्या करा है, तो रीजन देना जरूरी नहीं होता ट्रू फॉल्स के। ये तो हम लोग दे रहे हैं यहाँ पर आपको, ताकि आप लोगों को क्लियर हो जाए कि हमने ट्रू या फॉल्स इसको क्यों लिया। यहाँ पर उसने ट्रू एंड फॉल्स जो दिए हैं, ये रीजंस के साथ इसलिए दिए गए हैं, एग्जाम में देने की जरूरत नहीं होती। Now this is your time. Tell me if there is any other query. Sir, why is depreciation shown in trading account in practical problem number 2? All depreciations which relates to factory, because machinery is a part of factory. Where machinery is installed, where plant is installed, factory building, plant and machinery, or any other asset which is installed, which is there in the factory, depreciation will be charged in manufacturing account for that. Whatever assets are there in office, depreciation will be charged in profit and loss account. Let's remember it. No sir, first true false must be false because explanation of same is on study module. No sir, first true false must be false because byproduct entered at NRV. Explanation exactly I have already mentioned you better. So it is homework, so I can complete the chapter by own. Sir, it is homework, so I can complete the chapter by own. Sir, in this illustration number 3, depreciation on office furniture. Depreciation on office furniture will go to P&L account, beta. Depreciation on office furniture. Seven and a half % of furniture you have to calculate. Whatever the amount of furniture is, you have to do it, beta. टेंथ होंड का फर्नीचर है आपका, टेंथ होंड पे 7.5% निकालो बेटा, कितना आ गया 750 आएगा, तो 750 इसने डाला हुआ है, टेंथ होंड का 7.5% है, तो 750 आएगा, इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है। हाउ परचेजेस कम इन सेकंड क्वेश्चन, परचेज कम इन सेकंड क्वेश्चन, परचेज कैसे आई है मैंने बता दिया बेटा ऑलरेडी, अर्शदीप ऑलरेडी वी हैव डिस्कस्ड रिगार्डिंग परचेजेस। Question number, practical problem number 2 you are saying, na? Or illustration number 2? Arshdeep, is that illustration number 2 or practical problem? Sir, can we show asset disposal account in profit and loss account debit side? No need of going for asset disposal account. It is better you may go for the proper system, like whatever the profit or loss you have incurred on the sale of asset, that should be entered, that should be debited or credited to P&L account. There is no need of entering asset disposal account. This is not a good way. Sir, can you give us a break so that I can practice the sums? Beta, we have to practice the questions from home. So this was the homework. Good. Sir, if you said that all the direct and indirect expenses are part of manufacturing account, why you didn't add it in the practical question number 2? Beta, let it be very much clear. All expenses which relates to office will be entered in P&L account. All expenses which are relating to factory will be entered in where? In manufacturing account. Now, number of times it happen that we are paying some direct wages and some indirect wages in factory. Some material is direct in factory, some indirect. For example, if we are manufacturing shirts, then what happened? The packing material is named as indirect material, whereas all other material incurred on it like cloth, thread, etc. is named as direct. This is a way of presentation by the manufacturer, and this is a point also. So all expenses which are incurred in factory, whether those are named as direct or indirect, will be entered in factory, will be entered in manufacturing account. But those which relates to your office only will become part of your P&L account. When you are preparing trading and P&L account only, then that is something different. In trading and P&L, there is no chance of any manufacturing. So due to that reason, all expenses, whatever the name is, will go to your P&L account, except only few which are named as direct wages or carriage inward, freight, octroi, like that only. But in case manufacturing is there, all expenses, whatever is incurred which relates to factory, will be entered in manufacturing account, beta. Beta, we have Sanyam Khatun, we have already discussed in our previous lecture. You may please see my previous lecture. So I think everything is clear, because maximum students have maximum doubts I have cleared. Sir, commission based on profit क्या होता है? Commission based on profit means for whatever the profit will be there, you have to pay commission on it. So if he says 10% commission will be given on the profit, then we will calculate it by using a formula which is named as profit before commission into rate divided by 100 plus rate. If he says we have to give commission of 10% on profit, then you have to calculate profit. Whatever the profit is, assume it is 10 lakh. Commission is not yet entered. So you will have to calculate the profit and do 10% on it. Then 10 by 110. Whatever it is, that will be the commission that will be entered in the debit side of your P&L account. And whatever is the balance, that will be your final net profit. So let's start with the note for profit undertaking after the break. So these chapters become very easy. Sir, please explain the pro forma of manufacturing that we have already discussed in our previous lecture. You may please see the previous lecture last time, just last 10 minutes only. In that last 10 minutes, I have discussed the complete pro forma in detail. Please see, that will be better. MCQ number, why we need to prepare profit loss appropriation account. We doesn't need to prepare profit or loss appropriation account, but if he demands from us to go for this, then profit loss appropriation account includes transfer to general reserve, means any appropriation. Appropriation means distribution of profit. If any profit is distributed as by transferring to some reserve or something else, then that will be done. Otherwise, there is no need of preparing any profit loss appropriation account in our chapter, because profit or loss appropriation is normally required in case of corporate accounting. It is not prepared in case of sole proprietorship firms, beta. MCQ number 3, that has also been asked by one student. Manufacturing count balance is written as by trading count or by cost of material consumed transferred to trading count. Tanish, by cost of material consumed transferred to trading count. MCQ number 3, indirect manufacturing expenses are also called manufacturing overheads or production overheads or works overhead, one and the same thing. So the answer is all the three, because what is manufacturing, what is production, what is works, thrice are same. Work meant for factory, production meant for expenses incurred in factory, manufacturing meant for expenses incurred for manufacturing in factory. So all have the same meaning. The answer is all the three, beta. Let's have a break of 10 minutes. Then we will start with the note for profit undertaking after the break. Can you please दी तो नहीं ना अभी ब्रेक? अभी दी तो नहीं ना ब्रेक? हाँ, बस 2 मिनट का टाइम दे दो बेटा. This is given here. Can you please explain illustration number 3, office premises adjustment. Office premises occupy 1/4 of the total area. Beta, he says the total area, whatever it is, that office is covering 1/4 of the total space, and the remaining 3/4 of the space is covered by factory only. It means for, so 3/4 will be covered by factory. Hence, whatever expense relates to office premises, those will be allocated in 3:1 ratio. So here rent is given to you worth rupees 6,000. So that will be allocated factory 3/4, 4,500, office 1/4, 1,500. This will go to manufacturing account. This will go to P&L account. I think this is clear, beta. Ziba, tell me, is that clear? Yes or no? Ziba, is that clear? I think this is clear because no answer is received to me yet. Clear. Good. Very good. So have a break of 10 minutes so that we will be fresh to start with the new chapter, Note for a Profit Undertaking. Welcome back with a new chapter. The new chapter is very important from examination point of view as well as knowledge point of view. If you see कि जो हम लोग accounting करते हैं, whenever we are preparing accounts, major जो हमारी service industry है, whatever we are calling it as a service industry by way of social welfare, which are providing social welfare activities like schools, colleges, clubs, hospitals, or any such organization which is basically working for not the profit, instead for the social welfare first. Their first motive is to give welfare to the society. Second motive is to earn the profit only. In that case, we are not going to prepare final accounts in the way we have discussed, because their working is not trading. Their working is not manufacturing, but they have to prepare final accounts because this is a part and parcel of work. You know it very well. We are going for the recording, then we are going for the summarizing, recording, posting, and then summarizing. In that summarizing, we know that we should have to prepare trial balance and then final accounts. Now, how they will prepare their final accounts, which are not doing any trading, which are not doing any manufacturing? They are basically working for the welfare of the society, because schools are not going for any trading, hospitals are not going for any trading, colleges are not going for any trading. So that we will discuss in this chapter, final accounts of not for profit organizations. By a time the concept is completely changed now. A time, if you will see schools and colleges, they are also working for profits. They are not only working that they will have to go for social welfare only. That is only the government schools, government colleges, or government hospitals which are working on this line now. Otherwise, all are working on profits. Even I have seen a college in Ludhiana with us, which is very near to my office. Government college, SAD government college in Ludhiana. They are also doing one thing. They are also going for the self-funded courses in which they have to arrange their funds themselves. Means government is not going to pay them. So by the time being, the concept is changed now a time. But the base, the old concept remains with that we are calling them at not for profit organizations. When they have to prepare their accounts, they are given a concept that you have to prepare accounts in a different way. They have to go for receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. So there are three accounts or statements they have to prepare. And while preparing receipt and payment account, why they are preparing receipt and payment account? The concept is very simple. Basically, these people are normally dependent upon the donation, not from the income. Direct income is not there. They are getting donation from somewhere here or there. On that basis, they are working. That is assumed. Due to that reason, their receipt and payment is very important. Second thing is government is giving them taxation benefits. If you will see schools are giving a lot of benefits. Colleges are given a lot of benefit by the government. They need not to pay any taxation. They are given special exemption under section 10A and 10B. They are covered under section 11 also. So due to that reason of income tax, I'm talking about income tax. So that is not a point to be discussed here. But the logic is there that they are given the benefit, and government is interested to see how they have received the amount and how they have incurred the amount. Due to that reason, it has been made mandatory for them to prepare receipt and payment account. This receipt and payment is just like your cash account, or you can say cash book, because we have already discussed that there's no cash account in the ledger. Actually, cash book is itself a cash account, which I have discussed in my first lecture of final accounts. So cash book means receipts and payments. Whatever receipts and payments are there by way of cash and bank. By way of cash and bank. You may note it down with you. Any receipt or payment by way of cash or bank. Bank includes all online payments also. So all cash or bank payments or receipts will be entered in it. And its opening balance and closing balance will be the balance of cash in hand hai and cash at bank. But here there is no need of two columns. We are going it by single column. So there is no differentiation between the payment made by cash or bank, because we will enter it in receipt side. Whatever the payment is made, that will be entered in payment side. Whatever the receipts are there, that will be entered in receipt side. It may be either through cash or bank. That is not a problem. Very simple and logical account. Most easiest point. Don't you think that this is a technical chapter? It will be a very easy and understandable chapter. You will understand the concepts, each and everything, just like the previous chapter which we have discussed. There's no worry. You need not to take any stress. Next is income and expenditure account. Simultaneously, we are interested to know that how much we have earned in our business. Whether we are not working for profits, but whatever the loss incurred by us, whatever the revenue incurred by us, that must be shown properly by us. And government has certain norms for that, which you will study in income tax in CA final, maybe not in CA inter, because that is not covered in the syllabus of CA inter. That why this is prepared here from accounting point of view, you must have to remember that this must be prepared. So income and expenditure account is prepared. It is just a renaming which has been done here. It is the another name of profit or loss account, which is very well known to you. How to prepare profit or loss account? All expenses will be debited in it. All incomes will be credited in it. Here we are always considering this thing, that all expenses incurred by us will be entered. Means outstanding will be added, as we know. Prepaid will be deducted, as we know. Here accrued will be added. Pre-received will be deducted. That we are already doing. So all that will be done in the same way. This is just the name which has been changed. The concept remains the same. Profit or loss account is to be prepared by the name of income and expenditure account. Very easy, very simple. Third is the balance sheet. Now, balance sheet itself defines its meaning. We know it very well. Whatever balance sheet we are preparing earlier, it will remain the same. Just some names will be changed. As we know, the income concept will be changed. The expenses concept will be changed. Their income will be of different sense. Like in schools, we are getting fees, paying salaries to the staff. But staff salary is paid in previous companies also, previous business also. Just we are purchasing some stationeries like that. There may be some different type of expenses. Some incomes may change, like donation will be there. What is a donation? Everyone knows that schools or hospitals received donations. So whatever fees you are paying by way of admission fees, that may be named as a donation to them. So donation is their income, and it will be treated just like a income, just like a sale. There's no difference at all. Entrance fees in number of in number of clubs, we have to pay entrance fees. So that entrance fees is a just simple income for us. Admission fees is an income. Subscription is what? Subscription meant for if you are interested to subscribe. You have already seen on YouTube now a time that whenever you are going to see any video, the channel tells you to subscribe their channel. What means for subscribe? That you will have to get a benefit to see their you are interested, you can become the member of that particular channel. That it means for basically. If you are interested to be a member of it, you are interested to get regular privilege, regular benefit out of it, that means for you have to pay some subscription for that. So if you are running a club and getting subscription from some people, that subscription is your income. That is your income. Life membership fees, number of times we are giving some benefit, like in extension library I have seen in Ludhiana, they are getting life membership fees, that you will, once you will pay a particular amount, you will become life member of that particular organization. You can go and access their books for the complete life. You need not to pay again and again. You will have to pay it once only. So that is called life membership fees. Okay. So these are the sources of non-profit organization which have some different treatments, but I'm not going to say that there are some different treatments. The concept remains the same, and treatments are not too much different or too much typical. It is comparatively very easy and understandable once you will understand the concept of final accounts, whatever we have studied in our previous chapter. Let's see further. Some names will be changed, like in income and expenditure account, the profit is called surplus and loss is called deficit. That's it. Not too much difference. This is a simple change in name. Profit is a surplus, loss is a deficit. Now see how to prepare receipt and payment account. For that, you should have to understand the concept of receipt and payment account. So the concept is very simple. I already discussed with you. See, here it is. This is a receipt and payment account. See, first of all, you have to enter. I'm not going to solve a question for you. I'm just telling you the concept first. See, here it is. It is the opening balance, which you have with us. Where it is? It is always appearing with us in our opening balance sheet. There may be some opening balance sheet given to us. In that, we will find cash in hand opening balance and bank opening balance. So these two things will be found from opening balance sheet, or it may be given to you by them specifically. Then entrance fees. These are the receipts. Whatever receipts are there during the year that you have to enter here during the year, full year, because this is prepared for the full year. 31st of March 2020, here it is mentioned. So that means for it is for full year. So membership fees is there. Membership fees meant for if any person is interested to be a member of that particular organization, that will charge some particular amount from them. So whatever amount you will charge, that will be your income, that will be your receipt. Now, whether it will be our income or not, that you should have to understand. This is also our income. Entrance fees is our income. Membership fees is our income. There's no problem. If there is any problem, if he is interested to capitalize some amount of it, he will tell you. Otherwise, entrance fees is our income, receipt and income both. Membership fees is our income as well as a receipt. But this receipt and payment account have a basic concept of amount received if any amount is due but not paid or received, then it will not be entered in receipt and payment account. So note it down with you. There are two important things regarding this chapter, receipt and payment account. First point is amount received and paid during the year will be entered. Will be entered. Amount due but not paid or received, it will not be entered in receipt and payment account. So in receipt and payment account, you must have to keep it into your mind. Only those receipts and payments will be entered, whatever is received, actually received. If he says that the amount is due, but it is not yet received, it will not be entered, beta. Keshav, we will discuss each and everything. Just wait and watch. Ekta, wait. Till the time whatever point I am discussing, you may ask query regarding this. But regarding the future points, regarding the points which I haven't discussed, don't ask query for that for the time being, because I'll cover each and everything step by step. That will be beneficial for you. I think receipt and payment account concept is clear to everyone. Noted it down. Now, see here it is donation of account of club pavilion. So whatever the club pavilion, you know it very well, pavilion meant for you. Sale of food stuff. We are selling some product, whatever sale is there and receiving some amount that will be entered here. Salaries and wages, everyone knows purchase of any particular item, any expenses incurred, whether that is capital and revenue, all will be entered. लिख लो अपने पास, you may note it down. All expenses, all payments, you may note it down. All payments, whether revenue or capital. Just like in cash book, we are not considering in cash book whether it is a capital expense or a revenue expense. We are entering every payment. So in the same way, all payments made by us, whether revenue or capital, will be entered. In the same way, all receipts, whether revenue or capital, will be entered. So if I received or pay in cash, then I will record this into receipt and payment account, not otherwise. Exactly. But if you have made any payment by bank, that will also be entered here. If you have received any payment by bank, that will also be entered. So any payment made by us, any payment or receipt, whether, you may note it down, because whatever I'm writing, this is for you only, people, because today you remember it, after a few days you will forget. So if you have made some notes, it will be helpful for you in future. You can't read the complete study material once again and understand each and everything. If you have to read the study material once again, then what is the use of my teaching? So please note it down. All payments or receipts, whether cash or bank, will be entered in receipt and payment account, will be entered in receipt and payment account. Food stuff is just as food. Don't you worry about these items. Actually, some names may be different. Food stuff means for khane ka saman. Sir, payment for next year is also entered exactly. Whether payment is for current year or last year or next year, that will be entered. Whether receipt is for last year, current year or future years, you must have to enter. There's no problem at all. All receipts and payments must be entered. It doesn't matter whether it is of last year, of current year, of future year, that is not a matter. Concept should be clear. I think you have noted it down. Going to erase it. So general expenses are entered, rent is entered, bank charges are entered, balancing figure. So this is a closing balance. Normally it comes as a balancing figure. This is closing balance of cash and bank. It will also go to balance sheet. Let it be clear. This will also go to closing balance sheet. While preparing closing balance sheet, you will have to enter closing balance of your cash and bank that you will get from receipt and payment account. So this is that cash in hand, cash at bank at the end of the year. See illustration number 1. and ask me if there is any query. See illustration number 1 and ask me if there is any query. See the question as well as the solution both. Now it's your duty. Those who have understood illustration number 1 in full, see item by item. Like, see here it is. Receipt and payment account for the year ended is given to you. Just think and then check the solution. Where interest will go? Credit side of receipt and payment account. ऐसे सोचो और देखते जाओ नीचे, सच में वही किया हुआ उसने? आप अपने आप को चेक कर लो, आपको सारा क्लियर हो रहा है? कोई दिक्कत है तो बताओ, अगर क्लियर है तो मैं आगे चलूंगा. लाइफ मेंबरशिप फीस इज कैपिटल और रेवेन्यू? वेट एंड वॉच, आई विल डिस्कस. Sir, if there is credit balance in receipt and payment account, then it will go to balance sheet. It will go to balance sheet. No, it is not mandatory that your balance should be in credit side only. If there is a negative balance, it means for there is an overdraft in your bank. There's no worry. The result may be anything. If he has given you, like if he have given you that there is a CC limit and we have a negative opening balance, that means for we have some amount payable to bank, then we may make it by balance brought down. There's no problem. In the same way, if there is something like that, closing balance may come in debit side. There's not it is not mandatory that the opening balance must be in debit side and closing balance must be in credit side, because bank may be negative as well as positive both. Cash can't be negative or positive. This may be negative or positive. If it is negative, it will be entered in credit side. If it is negative, it will be entered in debit side. So that may be there. There's no problem. Like you will do by balance brought down to balance. Like you will write here by cash, by amount payable to bank. The opening balance, you may write opening balance of bank, like that. You may write anything by opening balance of bank. If it is negative, here to closing balance of bank, that is not a problem. You may write anything as per your suitability. So construction of pavilion will be entered in balance sheet also. Yeah, we have to discuss many things, but just wait. Will all expenses will be credited and all incomes will be debited in NPO? What means for NPO, beta? I'm not clear. There is no NPO. So how did amount divided into cash and bank? That will be given to you. How you will divide this amount in cash and bank? A good query. Be on this question, be on the point which I am discussing. Don't go to other points. Okay. So this is a very good query because this is related to the question. Basically, this will be given to you that this much will be the cash balance. This will be the bank balance. Where is opening 200 came from? From where this 200 rupees came from? This person has done the question actually. Remaining has also done, but query पूछने में मजा आया. ये देखो, it is given to you, beta. Just see here it is. Cash in hand, 1st of April 200, 31st of March 350. So this is the opening balance of cash in hand. This is the closing balance of cash in hand. This is the cash at bank opening balance, cash at bank closing balance. Arshdeep, 7.5% is given to you, beta. Comes basically the amount is 10,000 maybe in that question. Query has been asked from the previous chapter of 7.5%. 7.5 means 7.5%. So you will have to calculate by your calculator. It will be 750. It will be very easy. Is that clear, Arshdeep? There is no surplus or deficit. That will be in income and expenditure only. Arshdeep, surplus or deficit will come in income and expenditure, not in receipt and payment account. In receipt and payment account, we have only the opening and closing balance of cash in and cash at bank. No means not for profit organization. Okay, NPO means you have asked a query regarding, चलो वो ऊपर चली गई इंक्वायरी अब आपकी, तो मुझे मिलेगी नहीं. फुल फॉर्म ऑफ एनपीओ. ओके, आप लोगों ने अपना नाम बना लिया इसका. ओके, डोंट वरी. ओके, आगे चलते हैं. Now tell me one thing. If any expense is given to you, what it meant for? If expense is given in trial balance, this meant for what? Either it is the expenses paid during the year, or it includes paid and payable both. As a general understanding, just tell me, बेटा 7.5 ही है वो, 7.5 है वो, 7.5 ही है वो, 71/2 नहीं है. ओके अर्शदीप, चलो 7.5 या 7.5 एक ही बात होती है. चलो अभी इस पे था मैं. कम बैक. If expenses are given in trial balance, any expense I am talking about, what it meant for? Either it is paid during the year or it includes paid and payable both. Just tell me. Expense will credit and income will debit only during the year. Okay, good. Only those which have been paid. Exactly. No any doubt in this illustration. Okay, expenses paid during the year only. Good. So this meant for expenses paid during the year. Note it doesn't include payable, which are yet payable. Now tell me one thing. If any expenses are given to you in trial balance, whether it includes paid during the year for current year only, paid during the year for current year only. Paid during the year for current year only, or it includes paid during the year for current year and next year and last year also. Manvi, it is only for the previous query which I have asked. Expenses given in trial balance includes only expenses paid during the year. It doesn't include payable during the year. As a general meaning, in routine, whatever amount is paid by us, we are passing a journal entry, expense account debit to cash, and it comes into trial balance. Whatever is outstanding, that we are adding at the end of the year by way of an adjustment. Normally, it is not added in the trial balance earlier. That I was asking. It meant for it was only paid during the year. बेटा बात समझ लग गई कि जो ट्रायल बैलेंस में आपको एक्सपेंसेस गिवन होते वो वही एक्सपेंस होते जो आपने पे कर दिए हैं. जो आपने अभी पे करने हैं वो उसमें इंक्लूडेड नहीं होते. ये बात हम कर रहे थे. अभी मेरी क्वेरी क्या आ गई, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि ये पेड ड्यूरिंग द ईयर है करंट ईयर के लिए सिर्फ, या ये पेड ड्यूरिंग द ईयर है करंट ईयर की भी पेमेंट इसमें इंक्लूड है, नेक्स्ट ईयर की भी और लास्ट ईयर की. अगर हमने लास्ट ईयर की पेमेंट को इस साल में करी है, क्या वो इसमें इंक्लूड होगी? अगर कोई पेमेंट हमने नेक्स्ट ईयर की करी है इसमें, तो वो इसमें ऑलरेडी इंक्लूड होगी कि नहीं होगी? दैट आई एम आस्किंग. भूमिका, rectify yourself. Why closing balances are also given. This is just a illustration given to you. In number of cases, you will have to calculate the closing balance, so you need not to worry. I'm not getting answer from every student. Number of students are sitting idle. They are not sending the answer. That is very, very bad. Answer should be sent so that you can understand yourself whether you are correct or wrong. So let it be very much clear. It includes this one. This is the right answer. Whatever expenses are paid during the year, we doesn't check that whether it relates to previous year or to the next year. When expense is paid, we are passing a journal entry, expense account debit to cash oblique bank. First entry is only this one, rent account debit to cash oblique bank, salary account debit to cash oblique bank. We are not analyzing it whether it relates to current year or previous year, because entry is not different. So whatever is given in trial balance, that include all amounts paid by us during the year for current year or next year or last year. Note it down with you, beta. I am just giving you the notes. Note it down with you, beta. Expense given in trial balance includes all expenses paid for the current year or paid for the next year or paid for the last year. But condition is this is paid during the current year. Paid during the current year for current year means अगर हमने 2021-22 में कोई पेमेंट हमने कर दी 2021 की, बिकॉज वो उस पीरियड में नहीं करी थी हमने, क्योंकि 2021 की कोई पेमेंट थी, वो हमने पेमेंट 2021 में नहीं करी, वो आउटस्टैंडिंग पेमेंट खड़ी हुई थी हमारी, वो हमने 21-22 में पे कर दी. तो ऑब्वियसली जो 21-22 की पेमेंट आपको गिवन है उसमें ये इंक्लूड होगी. अगर 21-22 में आपने 10 लाख रुपीस पे करे हैं, ये कैसे पता लगेगा? ट्रायल बैलेंस में गिवन है. अब हमने 2021 के 1 लाख रुपीस पे करे हुए हैं, तो ये ऑलरेडी इंक्लूडेड है. ये आपको याद रखना है. और 22-23 के लिए मैंने 2 लाख रुपीस पे कर दी एडवांस पेमेंट, ये भी इंक्लूडेड है, ये भी इसमें ऑलरेडी इंक्लूडेड है. कीप इट इनटू योर माइंड. This will be a very important point whatever I am discussing. I am discussing the chapter to make it very easy. Otherwise, not for profit organization is assumed as the toughest chapter, but I am trying to make it as easy as final accounts of trading organ. जैसे आपको फाइनल अकाउंट ऑफ ट्रेडिंग समय लग गया, वैसे ही मैं चाहता हूं आपको ये भी समय लग जाए. तो इसलिए मेरे नोट्स को नोट करते जाओ. So example is clear. चलो आगे चलते हैं. अब जब हम बात करते हैं इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट की, तो आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा ये तो प्रॉफिट और लॉस अकाउंट है, उसी की तरह है, इसमें कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. तो इसमें तो हम लोग जब भी कोई आइटम को डालेंगे वो कैसे डालेंगे? जस्ट उसी तरह से जैसे हम लोग कैसे डाल रहे थे, किस में डाल रहे थे आगे, हम लोग डाल रहे थे अपने प्रॉफिट और लॉस अकाउंट में. मींस प्रॉफिट और लॉस अकाउंट में हम कैसे बनाते थे, अगर आप याद करो हाउ प्रॉफिट और लॉस अकाउंट वाज प्रिपेयर्ड. बेटा एग्जाम्पल वाज दिस. someone is asking to repeat the example. Please check it out. Beta, I am saying 21-22 is my current year in which I have paid rupees 10 lakh. That is given in trial balance. So the amount is given in trial balance. Now I am just telling you that this 10 lakh includes what? This 10 lakh includes all expenses paid by us for current year, for last year, for previous year. Means if he says that 2021 expenses of rupees 1 lakh are paid during the year, that means for this 1 lakh is included in it. And if he is telling you that we have paid some amount in advance also for the next year of rupees 2 lakh, that is also included in it, because whatever amount is given in trial balance, that meant for amount paid by us by way of passing an entry expense account debit to cash. It doesn't matter whether it relates to current year payments or to last year payments or to next year payments. It meant for 2021-22 actual expenses are how much. That is not required for the purpose of income and receipt and payment account, because the receipt and payment account has no meaning that whether it relates to current year or to last year or to previous year. If you are preparing a receipt and payment account, you need not to worry. You have to enter 10 lakh in full. Means whatever is given in trial balance, whatever total payments are made, that will be entered in receipt and payment account. There is no worry. But when we are preparing income and expenditure account, let's come to income and expenditure account concept. What means for income and expenditure account? We are saying that this means for profit or loss account. No, profit or loss account is always prepared on due basis. That means for all expenses relates to current year, whether actually paid or not, must be entered in it. मीनिंग देयर बाय, अगर कोई खर्चा आपका, एक्सपेंस आपका करंट ईयर का है बट आपने पे नहीं किया, तो भी उसे इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट में, पी एंड एल अकाउंट में डालना जरूरी है. तभी तो हम आउटस्टैंडिंग को ऐड करते थे. अगर आप याद करो, हम आउटस्टैंडिंग को क्या करते थे? ऐड करते थे. क्यों ऐड करते थे? क्योंकि हम ये मानते हैं कि जो करंट ईयर का एक्सपेंस है वो ड्यू बेसिस पे जाएगा पी एंड एल अकाउंट में. Whether it is actually paid or not, that is not a problem. So it means for it doesn't includes, it means income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account does not includes expenses paid for last year or next year. It includes only those which relates to current year. मीनिंग देयर बाय, अगर आपके पास एक्सपेंसेस गिवन है कि वो कह रहा है कि जो एक्सपेंसेस हैं इसमें ट्रायल बैलेंस में जो एक्सपेंस गिवन है वो तो उस एक्सपेंस को हम कहते हैं जो एक्सपेंस आपका पेड है, चाहे लास्ट ईयर का, चाहे करंट ईयर का, चाहे फ्यूचर का. बट हमें कौन सा एक्सपेंस डालना है? जो सिर्फ करंट ईयर का है. हमें उस एक्सपेंस को नहीं डालना जो एक्सपेंस पिछले साल का है या नेक्स्ट ईयर का है. तो मीनिंग देयर बाय, जो हमने पीछे एग्जांपल करी है, in that example we are saying paid given in trial balance worth rupees 10 lakhs. इसमें what we are saying in 21-22 we have paid. It includes 2021 1 lakh. It includes 22-23. We are saying this is also included in it 2 lakhs. So what you have to do? In income and expenditure account, you have to enter only expenses for 21-22. Whether paid or not, that is not a matter. So we have only 7 lakh rupees which are relating to 21-22. So it will be debited to P&L account, income and expenditure account, not 10 lakh. Exactly, Vipul, you are right. If expense is not mentioned, it relates to previous year or current year or next year, you will have to assume that it belongs to current year only. अगर बताया नहीं होगा कि ये खर्चा किससे रिलेटेड है, तो हम ये मानते हैं कि ये करंट ईयर का ही है. Income and expenditure account is a nominal account. Exactly right, beta. Whereas receipt and payment account is a real account. all revenue expenses will be entered in it, not capital expenses. All revenue expenses oblique incomes, I must say, will be entered, not capital expense or incomes. So सारे रेवेन्यू के खर्चे और रेवेन्यू की इनकम्स को इसमें डालना है, ना कि सर नोट के बाद क्या लिखा है सर, नोट कैपिटल एक्सपेंस और इनकम्स। नोट्स बनाते जाओ, प्रभु के गुण गाते जाओ और सीए पास करते जाओ। अगर आप नोट्स बनाओगे, क्वेश्चंस को अपने हाथों से सॉल्व करोगे, तो आप सीए में कंफर्म्ड पास हो जाओगे। यू नीड नॉट टू वरी। बट अगर आप नोट्स नहीं बनाते, आप लोग क्वेश्चंस को अपने हाथों से सॉल्व नहीं करते, उसके बाद आप उम्मीद करते हो कि हम सीए में क्लियर हो जाएंगे, तो ये एक मिसकंसेप्शन है, इसको दूर करना चाहिए आपको। सो डू मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिकली, एंड whatever you understand, make notes of it. I remember one of my student, she have studied from me about 15 years back, 14 or 15 years back. Then I have seen her notes, जैसे मोती पिरोए होते हैं ना, वैसे उसने नोट्स बनाए हुए थे। She have prepared notes in a very wonderful way. I'm just surprised. Whatever I speak, she writes it. Now at times she is in KPMG at a very higher post. Her name is Charu Jain. At a very high post she is working, and this is all. She have never missed any attempt. She have been cleared in each and every attempt. One of my student is Manish Singh. He is the head of all credit departments of Capital Small Finance Bank, but he have not missed any attempt. He has been cleared in first attempt. Such type of thousands of students are with me. All that is just due to the reason of their hard work. So you can also clear it, but you will have to do with sincerity. So coming to illustration number 2. Now you have to understand this, that whatever is our income and expenditure account, we have to enter only those items which are due during the year. And whenever we have to prepare any amount, we have to calculate any amount which is to be entered in receipt and payment account, you have to enter whatever amount is paid by us during the year. For that, you should have to make some adjustments. Okay, write it down. If any amount received is given, it is a part of receipt and payment account, we know it, but we have to calculate. If we have to calculate an amount for recording in income and expenditure account, what you will do? Now we have to calculate amount to be entered in income and expenditure account that is due during the year. How you will do it? I'm giving you a format for that. This is regarding incomes. Incomes includes donations, membership fees, subscription. Mostly these are the items. So how to get it? First of all, you have to write amount received during the year. It may be given in trial balance also. Whatever the amount is, write it here. Plus outstanding at the end of the year. Actually, this means for this is amount due but not paid. So this is to be added, as we have already discussed in our previous chapter, that whatever is outstanding at the end of the year, that will be added. But you haven't discussed one thing, that is, if any amount is outstanding at the beginning, what you have to do? So obviously that will be done vice versa, minus outstanding at the beginning. If any amount is outstanding at the beginning, that is also given to you. In this case, you will get such type of amounts. So that will be deducted. Why? Because this amount is already included in it. We have to deduct it to calculate the amount which relates to current year only. Because it includes this amount, because this has been paid during the year. We assume that this has been paid in current year. So, but we doesn't need it. We have to calculate the amount to be entered in income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account needs only amount due during the year only. It doesn't need any amount which is due in last year and paid in current year. So due to that reason, it will be deducted, outstanding at the beginning, minus prepaid, pre-received, sorry. This may be also called, instead of calling it as outstanding, you may call it as accrued. One and the same thing. There's no difference between that. Just whenever this is an income, we are telling it as accrued. Whenever it is an expense, we are calling it as outstanding. It is just our understanding. So I'm interested to go for that understanding. But in practical questions, you may have the word outstanding also. You need not to worry. One and the same meaning. Either it is outstanding or accrued. One and the same meaning. Note it down with you. In the same way, there will be pre-received at the end. This means for this income is for next year. This income is for next year, received in this year. It will be deducted, as we know, because that has been done in previous chapter also. If any amount is received in advance, that will be deducted. But we haven't done one thing, pre-received at the beginning, beta. So this is to be done reverse, because this meant for the amount which has been received in the previous year, but it belongs to current year. ये वो अमाउंट है जो लास्ट ईयर में हमें आ गई थी, बट ये करंट ईयर की इनकम है. तो अगर करंट ईयर की इनकम है तो करंट ईयर में डालनी जरूरी है ना, उसे पिछले साल में थोड़ा डाल सकते हैं हम लोग. इसलिए हम लोग इसे इस साल में डालेंगे. तो इसलिए इसको ऐड करेंगे, रिसीव्ड इन लास्ट ईयर belongs to current year. If any income which belongs to current year has been received in previous year, obviously that is to be added, because we need the income due during the year, whether received in previous year or in current year or in next year. That is not a matter of consideration while talking about amount which is required to be calculated for income and expenditure account. You have to do these adjustments. I think this is clear to everyone. सर ऑल रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंसेस के बाद क्या लिखा है? मुझे लगता है यहां पर नहीं, वो पिछले लास्ट पेज पे कह रहा होगा बच्चा. सर व्हाट इज रॉयल्टी इनकम? Royalty income is also same as we are discussing about subscription, membership fees and donation. That means for any royalty received by us for the patent or copyright given to someone else for publishing. प्रोडक्ट हमने डिस्कवर किया, हमने किसी को दे दिया काम करने के लिए, तो वो हमें रॉयल्टी पे करता है, तो वो हमारी इनकम होती है. इसी तरह उसकी भी कैलकुलेशन करेंगे. अमाउंट ड्यू और रिसीवेबल और ड्यू और रिलेट्स टू करंट ईयर और to be entered in income and expenditure account. इसको चलो ये निकाल लिया, आप सभी को कैलकुलेट करना आ गया इसको। लाइफ मेंबरशिप इज इनकम इन इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट और इन बैलेंस शीट। वेट एंड वॉच अबाउट लाइफ मेंबरशिप इज आई विल डिस्कस because there are number of points in this chapter. I have to discuss step by step the way you will understand in an easy way. So if vice versa is there, means if we have the amount due during the year, means amount due during the year is given to you, due during the, चलो अभी ये नोट कर लो, आप पहले ये नोट कर लो। हैव यू नोटेड इट डाउन? Sir, outstanding income relates to current year will be also transferred to balance sheets asset side. Exactly, all those things will be same. Whatever we have discussed beta in our previous chapter, all those things will remain the same. There is no difference regarding those items, those treatments, because we have already discussed that if any income is due but not received, that is accrued income, that will go to balance sheet asset side. So this goes to asset side, we know it very well, है ना? This goes to liability side, we know it very well. So ये तो हमें पता है, इसमें तो कोई डिस्कशन नहीं है, मुझे लगता करनी चाहिए। अभी हम इसी पे काम कर रहे हैं, इसी पे करते हैं। So I'm going to do the reverse now. If amount or income due during the year is given, so that means for income and expenditure account amount is given, but we have to calculate amount or income received during the year. Then what you have to do? What you will do? Tell me one thing. We have to go for the vice versa. Whatever we have done here, we have to do reverse. Reverse of this will be done. How to do the reverse? What you will do? In that case, note it down. It is very important, beta. If amount due during the year is given, during the year is given to you, that is the amount of income and expenditure account is given to you. What we have to do? We have to deduct out of it any amount which is outstanding at the end or accrued at the end, accrued but not received at the end. So whatever amount is accrued but not received at the end will be deducted, and whatever accrued but not received at the beginning will be added. Reverse कर रहे हैं हम लोग. Whatever is our pre-received income, pre-received at the end, that will be added, less pre-received at the beginning. So you will get amount received during the year. Exactly, Pandey, you are right. I was seeing a movie yesterday in that they says you must have to add G with the Pandey. So it was not a movie, it was like maybe uh, it was office, a comedy. They says you have to add G with that. So I'm adding Pandey G. Pandit ji, you are saying truly we'll have to do reverse. Pratinya Vidhate, please explain royalty. Royalty meant for what? मैं जितनी भी बुक्स लिखता हूँ या जितनी भी मेरी वीडियोस बनती हैं, वो क्या होता है, उसका कॉपीराइट मेरे पास होता है, क्योंकि मैंने उसको बनाया है, मैंने उसको डिस्कवर किया। अब मैंने उसको सेल करने का किसी को राइट दे दिया कि सेल आप कर दो। मैं प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग्स दे रहा हूँ, कोई भी काम कर रहा हूँ, उसमें मैं कह रहा हूँ कि इसका जो राइट है वो मेरे पास है, मैंने बनाया है, मैंने अपना राइट जाके रजिस्टर्ड करवा लिया, गवर्नमेंट के पास रजिस्ट्रेशन हो जाती है। इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स कहते हैं इसे, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स। तो मैंने इसको अपने नाम पे रजिस्टर्ड करवा लिया, वहां पर प्रूव करना पड़ता है कि ये मैंने बनाया इसको। तो उसके बाद मैंने किसी और को दे दिया कि आप इसको प्रोड्यूस करो, क्वांटिटी में प्रोड्यूस करो और सेल करो, और जितने यूनिट्स आप सेल करोगे मुझे उस पर आप रॉयल्टी पे कर दो। अगर मैंने बुक बना के दी है किसी को, कोई मैंने बुक को ऑथर करा है, तो बुक को अगर वो 1000 रुपीज पे सेल कर रहा है, तो मैंने कहा कि आप मुझे 20% पे करोगे, मीन्स 200 रुपीज विल ऑटोमेटिकली कम टू मी। वट एवर नंबर ऑफ बुक्स ही विल सेल, जस्ट एज्यूम्स उसने 10,000 बुक सेल कर दी, तो 200 into 10,000 he will have to pay me the royalty. So this is my income. One thing is this, and second thing is how it will be treated, that we have discussed in our uh, previous page, that it will be treated just like a normal income as other incomes are there. I think this is clear to everyone. In this also, one thing is very much important. This is the amount due during the year. So this is the amount of current year only, 21-22. Now this is the amount which has not been received at the end. So if any amount is due but not received, that is to be deducted for the purpose of receipt and payment account, because the receipt and payment account doesn't include that amount which is not earned by us, which is not received by us. Even if it is earned, that is not a matter of consideration, but if it is not received, it will not be entered. अगर कोई पैसे हमें मिले नहीं है, हमने अर्न कर लिए हैं, तो रिसीट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट में नहीं जाते, इसलिए मुझे माइनस करने पड़ेंगे, इसलिए मैंने माइनस कर दिया। जो लास्ट ईयर में मेरी इनकम थी, लास्ट ईयर में मेरी इनकम थी बट लास्ट ईयर में रिसीव नहीं हुई थी, वो इस साल में रिसीव हो गई, मुझे इस साल में रिसीव हो गई, तो वो इस साल में डालनी चाहिए मुझे रिसीट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट के लिए। किसके लिए? रिसीट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट के लिए, इसलिए मैंने ऐड कर दी। बट इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर के लिए नहीं डालनी थी, तो इसीलिए जो ऊपर जो अमाउंट गिवन है इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट, उसमें नहीं है वो। ये क्या है? प्री रिसीव्ड एट द एंड। ये वो इनकम है जो नेक्स्ट ईयर की है, मुझे इसी साल में आ गई। जैसे इसकी मैंने बात करी, ये 7 लाख है ड्यू ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, पिछली एग्जांपल ली थी मैंने, तो उसमें मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि मुझे लास्ट ईयर की अमाउंट आ गई है। कितनी अमाउंट आ गई है लास्ट ईयर की? 1 लाख रुपीज। तो जो लास्ट ईयर की अमाउंट मुझे इस साल में रिसीव हुई है, उसको मैं एड बैक कर दूंगा। और जो मुझे अमाउंट अभी रिसीव हुई है नेक्स्ट ईयर की, अभी नेक्स्ट ईयर की अमाउंट भी मुझे आ गई, उसको भी ऐड कर दूंगा, प्री रिसीव्ड एट द एंड। और जो लास्ट ईयर मेरी इनकम रिसीव हो चुकी है बट वो इस साल से बिलोंग करती थी, उसको मैं माइनस इसलिए कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज वो लास्ट ईयर में आ चुकी है, और कैश बुक में हम लोग उस अमाउंट को नहीं डालते जो इस साल में रिसीव नहीं हुई। तो कैश बुक में नहीं डालते, तो इसलिए रिसीट एंड पेमेंट भी नहीं डालेंगे, तो इसलिए इसको माइनस कर रहा हूं मैं। तो बैलेंस मेरा 10 लाख रुपीज आ गया। वेरी इजी, वेरी इजी, वेरी इजी। व्हाट टू ऐड, कैन यू रिपीट? बेटा वो चीजें ऐड करनी है जो अमाउंट्स हमारी इस साल में हमें रिसीव हुई हैं, बिलोंग किससे करती है मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला, और वो चीजें माइनस करनी है जो मुझे इस साल में रिसीव नहीं हुई। वी हैव टू ऐड ऑल दोज आइटम्स वट एवर इज रिसीव्ड ड्यूरिंग द ईयर एंड डिडक्ट दोज आइटम्स विच हैज बीन रिसीव्ड इन प्रीवियस ईयर और इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर, so that is to be deducted. If we do this by making account, will it be wrong as I find statement tough? You need not to worry beta, once you will do it regularly it will be very easy. Second thing is you must have to understand the concept. CA is already a tough course, everyone knows it. If you are doing CA, then you need not to worry about tough things, you have to make it easy. तो मैं आपको टफ को ही तो इजी बना रहा हूं, तभी तो इतना इजी कर दिया। इज इट टफ और इजी? प्लीज टेल मी स्टूडेंट्स। अरे भैया ये बहुत इजी है, इसमें कोई टफनेस नहीं है। आप लॉजिक को समझने की कोशिश करो ना। लॉजिक क्या है कि हमारा इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट है, उसमें क्या डालना है, जो आइटम ड्यू हुई। ये क्यों करवाया जा रहा है? ताकि आपकी लाइफ टाइम के डाउट्स क्लियर हो जाए, नहीं तो आप सारी उम्र लोगों से मिलते करके पूछते रहोगे, और आपके क्वेश्चंस गलत होने के भी बहुत चांसेस हैं। डेबिट किसको करना है, क्रेडिट किसको करना है, ये रट्टे लगाने से बात नहीं बनने वाली बेटा। और तीसरा, एग्जाम में वो डिमांड क्या करेगा, एग्जाम में वो आपसे कहेगा कि आप अकाउंट बनाओ हमेशा, नहीं, कभी वो कहेगा अकाउंट बनाओ, कभी वो कहेगा नहीं बनाओ। हमारे पास अकाउंट्स भी बहुत सारे बन जाएंगे अगर हम इसी तरह लगे रहेंगे, और अकाउंट्स बनाने के चक्कर में हमें परफॉर्मे बनाने पड़ेंगे, क्वेश्चन कितना लंबा हो जाएगा। आप सोचो हमारे पास अगर 5-6 ऐसी आइटम्स आ गई तो 5-6 अकाउंट्स मेरे बढ़ गए जिनको मुझे बनाना पड़ेगा। अदरवाइज फाइनल अकाउंट्स मैं उसको डायरेक्ट एडजस्ट कर सकता हूँ, जिसको मैंने प्लस माइनस करना है वो तो सिंपल हो जाएगा, प्लस माइनस खत्म, वो तो अकाउंट में ही आप कर दोगे, फाइनल अकाउंट में ही अपने इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट में ही प्लस माइनस कर लोगे, रिसीट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट में प्लस माइनस कर लोगे, आपको अलग से उसके लिए अकाउंट नहीं बनाना पड़ेगा बेटा। अगर आप मानवीय अकाउंट बनाने चले जाओगे तो आप कितने अकाउंट्स बनाओगे, ऐसे तो बहुत सारे अकाउंट्स बनाने पड़ जाएंगे आपको, और हर अकाउंट का पहले परफॉर्मा बनाना पड़ता है, फिर उसमें लिखना पड़ता है पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट रुपीज, फिर उसमें टू बाय कितना कुछ लिखना पड़ता है। आपके पास एग्जाम में टाइम कहाँ है बेटा, आपको तो अपना एग्जाम टाइम के अंदर कवर करना है। सो दिस इज द ओनली बेस्ट वे, if it is possible to be covered through accounts, I may go for that. Okay, I need not to do so much hard work for you. In that case, income and expenditure will be prepared on due basis, receipt and payment account will be prepared on cash basis. So these two things must be remembered by you, nothing else is typical. Remaining is understanding, you have to understand the logic. It's easy, Zeba says it's easy, Baktullah says it's easy, Bhumika says easy, शिता सेज इजी, गुंजन सेज इट्स इजी, केशव के लिए भी इजी है, ये संयम के लिए भी इजी है। सर आफ्टर गेटिंग लॉजिक इट इज वेरी इजी, एकता सेज इट इज कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर एंड इनकम रिसीट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट में और बैलेंस शीट दोनों में रिकॉर्ड होगा ना। एग्जैक्टली बेटा, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर एंड इनकम रिसीट वो सब हम करेंगे, स्टेप बाय स्टेप विल प्रोसीड, यू नीड नॉट टू वरी, देयर इज समथिंग डिफरेंट इन दिस केस। सो आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल क्लियर। Now what do you have to do, what is your working? What is the homework? Your homework will be illustration number 1 2, see, note it down, illustration number 1 2 3. In case of expenses also same thing is there, I have not discussed about expenses, but expenses points are also similar to this. If you found it difficult, don't do it, don't worry. Then we will go for these are the entries which we already discussed, because we know about the entries that we have discussed in previous chapter also, one and the same thing. So this illustration is also easy, this example is then yeah, you may just read the theory part of this chapter, just read the theory part of the chapter and do only first 3 or 4 illustrations as well as first 2 or 3 practical questions, nothing else is required. We will discuss each and everything in the next chapter in detail. We will go for the in-depth knowledge, then we will start doing the questions, that will be very easy. Those who have already done this chapter in +2, they are open to do these questions, there's no worry. If you think you can do it, you are open, but I doesn't presume it from your side. You may assume that you will have to go for the theoretical part as well as the practical questions 1 to 3. Okay, then thank you very much.